think like, oh, these investors, they're sat on banks of money. A lot of them are in jobs. They're either working their way out of a job or they just know the value of invest money.
Most people, as soon as they get some sort of an idea, the challenging part is then making that transition to doing it, right? They just never get to doing it, and before you know, they're 34, 54, and then...
I wish I'd have done it.
Yeah.
I always looked at those people who did personal development and I'm like, what is that? Come on, you're working on yourself. Like, are you going to find yourself? Like, who are you going to find?
Is it true that a lot of people who run the service accommodation, people that have got them, they give them out to prostitutes?
See, one of the biggest things that people don't do is think.
You have to take ownership of your life. Welcome back to my channel where we discuss property, business, lifestyle and well-being. If this is the first time you are visiting my channel, then please hit the like and subscribe button. So today we have Ellen McDonald, who is a serviced accommodation consultant. She used to be a teacher just 3 years ago in Abu Dhabi. She decided to scrap that, come to UK, learn about the property market. Now she has 6 serviced accommodation units herself, and she works with investors and offers them the full package from start to finish. And I can't wait to speak with her today.
And then I remember I messaged you when you were in Liverpool, and I'm such a blunt person, and I was like, I sent you a text like, where's this? Meaning like, I wanted to be like, oh, where have you picked? Like, that's a good area.
What did I reply?
And you were like, you just put, you put the answer, and I was like, I'm so sorry, that was really blunt. Like, I haven't even said hello. Like, I don't even message you, but I was just like, where is this?
Yeah.
But you forget, you don't actually know people, do you, when you're on Instagram and stuff? Like,
No, I remember that.
yeah.
But you know, even with like Samuel as well, like people always ask me like goods and bads, and I just always say, look, for me, if I learn something from you, even if it's like 0.1%, I respect you, because at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe you wasn't for me like long run, but you was the right person in that second.
At that time.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
That's what I see. What about what's your thoughts on that? Pay attention. I've got some exciting news for you guys. I've launched a 7-day total free audio course for you guys, which is going to help you improve and elevate your mindset, and it's also going to help you in your business. All you have to do is go and sign up every single day, day 1 to day 7. You will receive a free 2-minute audio from me in my own words, in my voice, and what that will do is help you in your business and your mindset. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
I think, like, as I said, I don't regret anything. I don't, like,
Yeah.
But that's because, as in, like, I view my life like that. Like, if you think about Samuel, I would never have met Alistair.
That's true.
Without that. Well, I would have, because whatever it takes, the book and stuff. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you...
Maybe it was just quicker you went there, or...
Everything happens for...
True.
For a reason, in a sense. Like, there's no point looking back and going, this went wrong, this went right.
Yeah.
I can have whatever feelings I've got now towards a person, but there's no point looking back at stuff. I may as well just be happy where I am now.
So true, so true. I need some tissue. You're a pro, aren't you? I've seen you at all stages.
I'm a pro.
But,
it's different though, isn't it? Like a stage and then like conversation and then...
Yeah.
So...
You know, for me, like, it's always about just making the guest feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
And like I say to everyone, like, I'm not BBC or ITV. You know what I mean?
It is the thought that you're like, what's he going to ask? Because some people, like, they're trying to, like, interrogate.
Yeah, no.
Obviously not in this environment, but you know what I mean? Like,
for me, it's just about learning about you, and
Yeah.
it's all about you. So I'll tell you what, we'll just get right into it. So, Ellen, how would you introduce yourself? Please tell everyone what you do, and then we'll break it down.
Okay, so I'm basically in serviced accommodation.
Yep.
So I have my own serviced accommodation properties that are targeted at contractors on short stays. And then I also, I'm basically a property consultant, so I find properties that would work for serviced accommodation, and I set them up, I stage them, I make them look all beautiful, and then I hand them to management. So my job is making it a hassle-free way of investing for other people.
Okay. You've practiced that 10,000 times.
No, but
That was
that's
really
what
well put.
That's what it is. That, like, that fundamentally is
Yeah, so you
the way it's
basically,
done.
yeah, so you basically, because you've got the experience behind you now, so you
Yeah.
know what to look for.
Yeah.
And then you'll get whatever the investor wants, you'll stage it for them and then give it to them.
Yeah,
Is that
so
what
I'll find a property that I
Yeah.
think is suitable, and then I'll send them the information and I'll stage it. So I kind of learned from, I bought from a sourcer in the past,
Yeah.
and they screwed me over.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that even whether people have the knowledge or don't have the knowledge, but they want to invest, I can give them a service of a good product and kind of help them through it.
Got it.
So that's...
So what's the sort of customers that kind of come to you?
So it varies. Most of them are just like they're in London or they're abroad. So they've got money.
Yeah.
A lot of them, people always think like, oh, these investors, they're sat like on banks of money. Like a lot of them are in jobs. They're either working their way out of a job or they just know the value of like invest money.
Yeah.
They're all very different people, but they all want, the one thing they've got in common is they probably all want a better life for themselves, and they know whether it's stocks, whether it's property, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Investing's the way to do that.
Yeah. Okay. And just to understand you a little bit more, for you to go and find the property,
Yeah.
for you to then stage the property, for you to then hand over the key by basically saying it's fully ready.
Yeah.
Like roughly, like what is the cost of that sort of a service from you?
Oh, so the way it works, so the investor pays for finding the property. So it depends on the investor. It depends on like what package they want. So
Yeah.
they'll pay for finding the property. So they'll pay the property deal of like 3,000, and
Okay.
then it depends on how many bedrooms the property is. Do they want it done to a luxury standard? Do they want it, a basic standard? Is there already furniture there that works, or is there no furniture? So it's not necessarily like one package fits all.
Yeah.
It's that specific property, and then obviously some will have a larger investment, but then they might make their money back. They might make more each month, or some might be 5-year contracts, 3-year contracts. So it kind of depends on the property.
Everything's like, it depends on the state of the property, I
Yeah.
suppose, right?
And they discuss it like so I don't send to a list. Like I know some sources, they send the properties out to a list. I speak to an investor, I get to know them. Like I want to know their situation. I want to know why they're investing, because a lot of people, like, they get into rent to rent and they've just seen all these like bright lights of like, you're going to make £2,000 a month and
Yeah.
it's going to be really easy and nothing's going to go wrong. Whereas like I want to sit with someone and be like, here's 10 things that could go wrong. Here's all the things that could go right. And what's your situation? Can you handle if the first month it doesn't make you money? Because I don't want someone coming to me going, oh, I've seen on YouTube that I can get invested, like I can invest in property, and then 2 months later they can't afford their own situation. So
Yeah.
I'm specific to them, like what they can afford, what works for them, and what they're looking for each month.
I like that. And
Yeah.
more relationship building and
Yeah.
understanding circumstances, right?
Yeah, and it makes it more like I want them to do well. So like even though once the deal's done, like that's my involvement done. That's what I'm paid for. I'm not paid to like carry on looking at the property. But I had an investor who I got a booking for them. Like I just knew someone who wanted a long booking, like through a website, and I got them that booking. I didn't take anything for it, but I genuinely, and it sounds fake, but it's true, got so much excitement from their excitement of it working. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have that if it was just a person on a list. Like,
Got it.
I know what that effect is of an extra however much every single month. Like
Yeah.
for that investor, it's making 1,300 a month for the first 5 months. But there's 3 of them who've all put the money together to do it. So it's like cracking, because it's going to make them all a good amount, not just one person.
Yeah.
So it's like that connection with them.
It's all, that's why it's about relationships and
Yeah.
connections, right? Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So just for those that don't know, what is a serviced accommodation business? What is it?
So basically, it's the whole Airbnb short stays. So like the hotel market, you're going to go in the property, you're going to stay for however many days. It's your home away from home.
Yeah.
I focus mine now on contractors. So they generally stay Monday to Friday, or, you know, we have 1 month bookings up to, we have 6 month bookings. So that's kind of my market. But service accommodation, it does tourists, it does business people, it does families going away. It's such a broad term.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So basically, you get a property and stage it and put it on Airbnb.
Yeah.
Or you put it on Booking.com.
Yeah, Airbnb, Booking.com, all of them.
So like a hotel.
Yeah.
With a bit more.
A hotel, but with more comforts of, like, especially for contractors or families, you know, you've got your kitchen, you've got your table to, like, sit and have dinner. You're not just restricted to in a hotel where you've got the bedroom and then you've got to go pay for dinner outside. Like, it's a cheaper alternative and more of a home.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Okay. So tell me about, like, how did you get started in serviced accommodation? Like, I suppose, how old are you?
26.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
you're
know
still
why I had to
very
think
young.
about that.
Yeah, you're still very young, but like, how many years have you been in this game, and how did you start? How did you get into it?
So I've been doing this for 3 years now.
Yeah.
I'd liked Airbnbs from the point of view of, like, I always loved to travel. So I'd like them that side of things. But I had no clue about property whatsoever, like, at all. I was out teaching I was teaching abroad, and basically my plan was to save all my money. And then, like, all I knew about property was you buy a house. Like, you invest in a house. Everyone tells you, like, buy a house. And even, like, just buy it for yourself, not even buy it as an investment.
Yeah.
And then I honestly just watched videos and was reading books and was like, oh, crap, like, there's more that I could do with this. And I came back, and I'm not even going to sit here and, like, bullshit anyone and say, like, oh, you know, I just saw the opportunities and I knew it was going to work, so I quit my job knowing I didn't know. But I saw it as I was 23 at the time. I felt like I had nothing to lose. I was in a job I hated. So I was like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to give property a shot with what I've, like, seen online. I'm going to invest. And then if it doesn't work, I'll go and teach in a year's time. Like, I'll teach somewhere else. Like, I've got the skills to get another job. But what have I got to lose?
Yeah.
And then it worked out pretty well.
Wow. And where was you before?
So I was a teaching. I was out in Abu Dhabi.
Okay, in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
How many years was you up there?
So I was out there for, I think, just under 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Long
from
time.
there, you decided that I'm going to come back to UK and give the property a go.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, I'll just go
I've got
back.
nothing to lose. Because I was very much of the mindset of, like, now that the idea's there, if I don't do it, then, like, I'm always going to know. And I can't even take full credit that it was all me, because I was with my partner at the time, and he was watching all the stuff, so he was really interested in it. So there was, like, a safety net as well with him, like, we'll both go back and we'll give this a shot.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it worked.
That's really good, you know, because you know what it is, like, most people, as soon as they get some sort of an idea, the challenging part is then making that transition to doing it, right? They just never get to doing it, and before you know, there's the 34, 54, and then...
Thinking, I wish I'd have done it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard because you're so used to, like, your safety net, you're so used to your security, like, it's hard to go, okay, I'm going to give this. Like, I'm not going to act like I didn't have all those, like, what if it doesn't work? What, is this the right thing to do? Like, But
you've done it anyway,
Yeah.
right? There you go. That's what makes you different. Look where you are now. So,
Yeah,
so
it's
people
worth
out
it.
there that are thinking, should I not, go for it, right?
Yeah, but I'd always say, like, especially because there's so many videos and stuff out there where people say, like, quit your job, go and do this, go be an entrepreneur. It's like, do it safely. Like,
Yeah.
you know, get the knowledge, put yourself in the right environment, like, make sure that you safely can do it, because I did quit my job when I came back to the UK, but I'll hold my hands up, I moved in with my parents.
Right.
So that I could, because I got myself to zero to do it. So I moved in to give myself a shot at it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people just see, oh, quit your job and just go and be an entrepreneur. And it's like, okay, but you've got to have a safety net to be able to, and I don't mean like necessarily a financial safety net, like move into a friend's house if you can, like, but you have to be able to cover something
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, you got to think about all that, haven't you?
Yeah, because sometimes people just get so into the idea, they're like, I'm just going to quit.
Yeah,
Like,
but, yeah.
Yeah, like, I had to, I was in a different country.
Yeah, very well said. So how many service accommodations do you actually have?
So I have 6 myself.
6 service accommodations.
Yeah.
And how many, how long has that took to build over the last 3 years? Or 2 years?
So I set up my business the last year, so they're in since March, I think 6 it was, that
Yeah.
I set up EM States. So they're in this last year.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that just pays for your kind of expenses and a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then you've got your other business, which produces you more money, right?
Yeah, so that covers basically, I said my expenses. It covers, I've just took on a full-time employee, so that covers her wage,
Yeah.
and getting around, and then the rest of it is making me what's going to be like my investments.
Very nice, very nice. So are you planning on getting more serviced accommodations this year, next year?
Yeah,
or?
so this year I want to get a BRR to SA.
Nice.
That's the plan. So I've seen the strategy work. I know which areas are working for me. I know what I like and what I don't like. So now I'm ready to like go into it. But it took me time as well because obviously I'd quit a job abroad. Before that I'd had university. So I wasn't mortgageable when I came back. So I couldn't even buy, even if I had just from like saving it up,
Yeah.
I couldn't buy straight away.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like, you know, I've been putting everything in place to be able to go and do that now.
The paperwork stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your plan to like just buy it on a BRR and then basically it's your property
Yeah.
and then put it on an SA?
Yeah, pretty much. I've got like investors who they've worked on the rent-to-rent side, so they're interested in putting money in it so that they know that they've had bad sources as well in the past.
Yeah.
So they're interested in, okay, we'll put the money with you and we'll get a good investment together.
Yeah.
Because they know that it's not going to be a bad deal, whereas in the past they might have bought from someone who has neglected it or hasn't done what they said they were going to do. So I'm quite fortunate in that. So I've got what my business is making, and I've also got investors who want to work with me for it.
Well, that's the dream, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've worked hard to get there.
Of course.
And I think that's what people forget as well. Sometimes, like, when people start out, they're looking at like the first step, but they're not looking at where are you in a year time. Like when you build good relationships, people want to work with you, and it grows from there.
Yeah, no, 100%, I agree. Okay, so what tips can you give to someone to prepare for the off-peak season? You know, when is the off-peak season?
So again, it depends on like your specific strategy. So because I do contractors.
Yeah.
Yes, we have the off peak. So, you know, everyone says January, February is like, you know, you've got to get through it. And at the end of February, people are like, right, we've got out of this. Like, it's all good. We made it, guys. Like, well done. Which is, again, why I say to people, make sure you've got the funds and look at it as a year. But if you're looking at contractors,
Yeah.
they're still going places in like maybe not the first week in January, not over the Christmas period, but they're still coming. So I think it's making sure that when you take on an investment, you've got different strategies. So, okay, maybe you are targeting people coming at the weekend and stuff, but does it still work for contractors who are going to be there midweek?
Yeah.
So that you don't have to worry about that off-peak, getting no bookings in. And, you know, you might have to lower your price so that you break even rather than making a high profit that month. It's just about looking at how to mitigate your risk.
And preparation and just making sure, if you know that the month's coming,
Yeah.
and you know 10 months before, then you can prepare for it,
Save,
right?
yeah, because I've got people who, like, I don't invest in Blackpool, but Blackpool's, like, really seasonal. So they make a lot of money in summer.
Right.
But then they don't make as much in the in-between. So they'll say to, like, investors, you're going to make a lot here. Don't go and blow it. Don't think you've got loads of money. Like, think of it as a whole year.
Yeah,
if it
yeah.
makes you a lot in this month, but it's going to lose you in this month, then you need to prepare for that.
Yeah. So see, with your serviced accommodations, do you actually manage them yourself, or?
So I have used management and I've managed them myself. I've used terrible management.
I've had the same
Have
experience.
you?
Yeah.
It's like an investor asked me this the other day as well. They were like, do they just want to take money and do no work? And obviously it's not every management company, but you think like some of them are just sat there going, oh, I'll make this much money and you'll make nothing this month because I'm not going to do my job. So I've recently took all of mine back because now that I've got a member of staff, it was just easier to have hey, look at everything. She's got more like want for it to do well because it's part of the business, and it means that I can actually see how it's going and put the tips that I've got from doing this into it, rather than handing it to management and having no control.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, but then if you haven't got the time, like then you need management.
You need it, don't you?
Yeah.
Maybe you should offer like other people management as well if you've got staff, and then charge them, right?
So I did consider this, but I don't want to split myself. So like I right now back the product that I've got. I know I do a good job with it. And even when the business started to grow, I could feel like, okay, so much is happening. I need to keep up with this. And I didn't want the investors to lose, like, they'd signed up because of the relationship, you know, because I was helping them out, because I'd give them advice. And I feel like even with the member of staff, I don't want to stretch them when the product is good, finding the property is good, staging it's good. I don't want to go down, like, because, you know, you see people, they try and go down every single route, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't think, so for now, it's not for me.
For now, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, and it always, your peace of mind is the most important thing,
Yeah.
right? If it's coming at a cost of your peace of mind, don't do it.
Yeah, and I also think, like, I know from the managements I've seen, like, you have to give your heart and soul to management.
Of course you do.
And I think this business, I give my heart and soul to finding and staging properties. I think the investors need someone who their sole focus is bringing them bookings, rather than, even if, you know, the member of staff, she looks at that side of things. I want someone for investors whose focus is just that one thing.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So a newcomer who wants to get into serviced accommodation, where should they start?
I think it's just basically get educated.
Yeah.
Because so many mistakes can happen, and it can be so costly if it's done wrong. You know, if you get the wrong area, if you miss things like, does it have parking? Does it need parking?
Yeah.
You know, the standard is there even safety things being missed? I think it's just getting as much education as you can, whether that's like paying for your education or watching videos. You know, there's so much out there online.
Yeah.
But don't just go, oh, I've watched one video and I think I can do this now. Like, actually get educated. Keep watching stuff.
No, I agree with that. I definitely think people should pay for it, because otherwise, if you end up doing free stuff, you'll just be confused, right?
Yeah, I think when you pay as well, like when they say when you pay attention. So you put that investment in and you go, it has to work.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to make sure I make it work. And as well, I don't think you can expect people to give you everything for free. Like, in life, we're not given everything for free. So
True.
to get the best help and the best knowledge, you are going to pay for it, aren't you, really?
Definitely. No, 100%. So, you know, the government, have they, like, see with HMOs, there's a lot of guidelines, isn't it? So see with serviced accommodation, I've seen recently, like, something's coming out.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Because they brought in, I don't know if it was it last year or recently, in Edinburgh or in Scotland, they brought in regulation. So you can still run them as serviced accommodation, but you basically need, like same as the HMO, you need a licence for it.
Have they brought it out?
They've brought it in Scotland.
Really?
So they've not brought it here.
Right.
But now they're all talking about it because everyone's saying there's too many places and there's not enough properties for people to rent, and they're a nuisance and all of these things that are putting people off them. But it's just another reason to pay
another fee, right?
Yeah, here you go, now I'm doing service accommodation, so now this is my extra cost to it.
See the ones from your knowledge that what they bought out in Scotland?
Yeah.
What is it?
So it's just, I don't know, like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know loads about it. Basically, it's restricting it so that they can decide. So if they've already had it, I think they've got like grandfather rights in a way with it. But if you want to set up a property service accommodation, you're now going through hoops to do it, rather than
got it.
Just like in here, you can just set up a property. You can, as long as, you know, it's not in a flat with restrictions in the flat. If it's a house, you can change it over. So it's just making it
a bit more paperwork type thing. Yeah, probably a bit more like they want to know what's going on, right?
Yeah, and then they can see exactly how many people have them. They can make the money from it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a really interesting question, right? And I really wanted to ask you this. So now, is it true that a lot of people who run, you know, the service accommodation, people that have got them, to cover and guarantee like the bills and stuff like that, they give them out to prostitutes? Hey YouTube, I'm really sorry to cut you off, but I have to share this with you. I want you to get to your next level, and I believe that personal development is the gateway to success. So what I've done is I've gone and created a 7-day free audio course. This is totally free. All you have to do is sign up, and from day 1 till day 7, every single day, you will receive a 2-minute audio from me, which will elevate your mindset and give you power in your business. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
Right, so good question. It's funny you ask it as well, because I met with a landlord the other day who's giving us some properties, and he was commenting on this. He was like, he just found out that one of the properties, that's who'd been in it. I don't know whether people are I wouldn't say they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But obviously there is a market there for it.
Of course it is.
So it's happening. So it's down to the person whose property it is to put the things in place to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So people will definitely be doing it.
Of course.
But that's why people have we have ring doorbells. We are questioning who's staying, why they're at the property, to stop that type of guest staying there.
Yeah, and I guess like if someone's just getting into it and then someone's come to the door to view it and be like, well, I'll pay you 12 months up front type thing, then you
But it's not even like that. I mean, I'm sure that is happening. You know, people saying I'll do this, but it's it's about being aware of who's booking Monday, you know, just for a 1-night booking or a 2-night booking.
Yeah.
Because they'll be doing that as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's the same as any industry. There's always like risks, there's always problems. So it's about actually looking at your bookings and seeing who is coming to the property. That's why I like contractors, because they're staying for like 5 days to, as I said, up to 6 months.
Yeah.
And you're renting to the company, so you feel safer with it. But people will be doing it,
Yeah. Do you think that doing that is wrong?
I do, yeah. I'm going to try and say what I mean by saying this. Like, I think, I don't know the reasons behind, like, that industry. I don't know what's going on in the background. I don't know what someone's being forced into or not being forced into.
Yeah.
So from that point, I don't really want to be, like, promoting an industry like that.
Got it.
So that would be why I'd say.
Yeah. Because, or, it's like, if it's none of my business, it's none of my business.
Yeah, which I can understand as well. Like, you know, there's not a problem
it's perspective,
with the property,
isn't it?
but also from a landlord's point, and from a neighbour's point of view, you've got to think as well.
Yeah.
Like, what
especially
are the
with kids and
seeing
families
there?
and yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. So where's the real money in serviced accommodation? Is it in houses? Is it in apartments? Or is it in like holiday homes? Like, where is it really?
Again, like it depends, because recently we've had like a lot of good bookings for like the bigger 4-bedroom homes.
Right. Okay.
They've done really well. But so at the moment, mine's rent to serviced accommodation. So obviously we've got to pay the landlord the rent and the bills. Well, we're paying the bills ourselves, but we've got to pay the rent. So some people will say, oh, 2 bedrooms work well because the rent's a little bit lower. Like, it's hard to put it down to one specific one. It depends on who you're targeting, how long they're staying for.
Yeah.
And like your overheads with flats, it's a lot more complicated because of like restrictions with the lease, whereas with a house, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay. So see, like city centres, like Manchester city centre, like somewhere close to like Deansgate or somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, what's the sort of people that are going to stay there? Are they going to be like business owners, tourists?
You'll have a bit of
party
everything.
people.
Like, you would have, like, it's Manchester city centre, you'd have people who are coming for like a night on the town. And then you would have, you know, business people. There's so many meetings and stuff going on in Manchester.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like Christmas markets, things like that, there's so many shows in Manchester.
True.
You'll probably tick every single box, and then it's how you style your property and, you know, what your nightly rate is to which one you're specifically targeting.
Yeah.
Because like parties are going to pay you more, especially if it's like a big group of people, but they're also more likely to damage the property because there's going to be drink, there's going to be, you know, is there 6 guests coming, or like somehow they want to add 2 extra people.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the businessmen midweek or the contractors or a family, they're probably going to be a lot less hassle.
Yeah, so I guess you got to look at your business model and think which is less work,
Yeah.
kind of same money, and yeah.
Because I have friends who they do like the luxury ones, and they're like one night stays, and it's groups that come, and you know they pay a high price for that one night, but then their involvement seems so much higher. Then mine are paying less, but I feel like for me I prefer it because
Less headache.
there's less headache. Yeah, like I don't need someone breaking a flower pot or whatever it is in the property that they're breaking.
No, you're absolutely right. So where did you go recently? You went on a holiday?
Yeah, I went to South Africa.
Tell me about that. How was that?
So good.
Was it?
So good, yeah. Do you know what? I've been saying for like a year, everyone had been like, Ellen, you need to go on holiday. Ellen, you need to go on holiday. Because I love travel. Like, I've always loved travel. When I went out to teach, I went to, like, because of the travel opportunities and stuff. So I went out there and, like, finally I was like, you know what, you do deserve a holiday. Like, you've worked hard. You've now got a member of staff so I can actually leave knowing things are taken care of. But I can't even pretend like I could step away from the business because my brain was like constantly like, so what's going on? What's this? Like,
Yeah.
Like I trusted everything to be fine, but I'd be like, so how's this? And I'd be like checking my emails.
Yeah.
But you can't.
But it's
switch
nice
off,
though.
Can you? Yeah, but I was like lying on the sunline to like doing calls about where to put the pillows and things like that.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
So where did you go in South Africa?
Cape Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it expensive, the trip?
So the flights were expensive.
Yeah.
But like the Airbnb was really not that much at all.
How long did you go for?
I was there for 14 days.
Wow, okay, nice 2 weeks then.
Yeah, by the end I was like, oh, I'm ready to go home
Ready
now.
to go
like,
back. So what did, like, because from my understanding, like, when I looked at South Africa, because that's one of the bucket lists I want to go to.
Is it?
And what is it, like over $5,000?
It was, I think my flights were $1,000.
Okay.
And my Airbnb was gorgeous.
Really?
Like, I really liked it. And that, I think there was a group of us, I think that was like, I can't even remember, it wasn't, like the actual, South Africa was really cheap for like when you're there.
The day-to-day costs?
The day-to-day costs, like we went for breakfast, 3 of us, 3 like avocado on toast, you know, like being bougie and all that. And then like 3 wines or something, it was like £25.
Wow, that's cheap.
And I was saying here, avocado on toast, it probably cost me like 12 quid, something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Like so the actual like costs of being out there wasn't much. It was just the flight getting, and then taxis, so cheap. We did a 30-minute taxi, and I think it cost me like £6.
Wow.
Yeah. It's one of them, when you're out there, it's absolutely fine, but it's like getting out there.
So what was the flight? How long was the flight?
12 hours.
Okay.
You say, okay, I'm like 12 hours.
Yeah. What, direct?
Direct, yeah.
Okay. And what about, did you go safari and everything?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, honestly, that was amazing.
Was it?
Do you know what? I think that was the first time I actually switched off fully, because 1, my phone had no signal, so
Yeah, you had to.
And 2, like I was just so excited by I felt like a kid again. Like, you know, when you take a kid to the zoo and they're buzzing.
Yeah.
That was me, like on the safari, because they're so close to you.
What, the lions and everything?
Yeah, like those lions, giraffes, like zebras, all of it, and they're next to you.
Wow.
I fully recommend.
Did they not like jump on or jump on
they
the
didn't.
truck or
They
something?
didn't, thank goodness. I'd have panicked. Honestly, if we got that close, couldn't have done it. But no, like that, and like we went to like wine tasting and things like that.
Okay.
That was amazing as well.
What's the party life like there, or you're not really?
We really didn't do much of that. I'm not gonna lie. I think it had like, I don't even know. We went out for like dinner and like we were all very chilled out there. It was like relaxing. It's probably a good night on the town, but I don't know.
Nice. I think so. Yeah, might plan something.
You'll have to tell me when you go.
I will. Yeah, definitely. Because it's not a lot of people that have been there, is it?
Yeah, it's not a place that you see loads of people go to.
Okay, so what is your goals with your business this year or over the next 12 months, and how big do you really want to go?
So, do you know what, it's something I keep asking myself recently. So the business, I want to buy another property this year.
Yeah.
Probably maybe take a few more rents on and just keep...
For yourself, yeah?
Yeah, and just keep taking like more clients and finding them properties.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in like women starting their own businesses. So like that's where I see myself going. I've got the investor side there, but I also want like to be speaking to women to get out of their comfort zone and actually start their own business, or even just like, you know, move up in jobs and things like that. Just stop holding themselves back and actually
Do it.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that then?
This is what like it's started now.
Yeah.
But I needed to get to, I mean, you're always working on yourself, aren't you? Like personal development never stops, but I needed to get to enough of a place where I was like, okay,
Now I'm ready.
I believe in me enough
Yeah.
to try and tell someone to believe in them, because I'm not going to be a hypocrite and sit there and be like, you believe in yourself and have a business, if I'm sat in the background being like, I don't
Doubting
fully
it.
believe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
okay. So what are you thinking, like any business or service accommodation business?
Probably any business.
Yeah.
But I said it doesn't even need to be business. I just think people
do better.
everyone, but women especially, just take themselves out of the game. Like, we're so like fearful of what people are going to think, or even like in a relationship, they hide behind a partner rather than stepping out into, and it works with both genders as well. Like, someone tends to be like the louder partner and one person's quieter, and the quieter one seems to go in on themselves, and I want people to just genuinely be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, well, that's good. And it seems like it's your passion and that sort of thing, so you want to do it, don't you?
And that's the thing, you start a business, and I love staging properties. Like, I am passionate about it. I love when investors text me saying like they've just had this booking. Like, it makes me happy, but I know I am really passionate as well about just inspiring more people to get out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, just growing. And you'll notice like every 6-12 months, you'll want to do things like that and just do it.
Because I look back at myself, like, I didn't think I could have a business on my own.
Yeah.
Like, I'd had a business with my partner at the time, but I didn't think I could do it, and I needed, like, Alistair Cunningham's my mentor.
Yeah.
And I needed him to be like, you can do this. And him to believe in me to help me then create a business. And I now want to do that for other people. Say like, you can do it. You're holding yourself back. Go and do it.
Yeah. Alistair, we had him on a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And is he your mentor?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you like have any other mentors as well, or is that the only one you have at the moment?
No, he's the only one. Like, obviously I read books and stuff, but he is he's my business mentor. I have like, I'm part of his business academy, so I have him, and then I have like accountability calls and all that side of things.
Yeah. And you become friends, don't you?
Yeah. Well, and it's the same with like business, like with investors. I become friends with the investors I work with.
Yeah.
Because when you get to know people and they're genuine, and I think when people actually care, you can't help but become friends with them.
Yeah.
When they're genuine.
So true. Okay, so what's your, like, I know you just said, you touched on personal development a little bit, and you said that it's a constant thing that you have to work on yourself, which is so true. Like, what do you do to work on yourself in terms of personal, but where are you at the moment with it?
So, in terms of, like, there's always loads to improve on, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'm very much so, I wasn't like into personal development, like, probably 2 years ago. Like, I always looked at those people who did personal development and I'm like, what is that? Like, come on. You know, like, you're working on yourself. Like, are you going to find yourself? Like, who are you going to find? Or, like, you know, it just sounds airy-fairy, doesn't it, when you're not into it? And then I went to Tell the World, which is what made me, like, realise that I wanted to do this. And that's when I started actually being like, okay, I'm going to work on myself. So, like, recently I've started journaling because I realised everything was just getting confused up there. So I'd, like, write it down. I did Tony Robbins, like, Unleash the Power Within.
Oh, do you do that?
Only the online one, though.
Okay.
So I did that. So that gave me, like, a few exercises for, like, working on myself.
Yeah.
But I'm mainly just kind of, as I said, I'm journaling and just reading as much as I can at the moment. Like, I neglected reading to focus on business, whereas I realised that you grow more from actually reading the books. And it's funny because we're all different people, but we end up having the same problems. No matter where you are in life, you've got the same problems.
Yeah.
Like, you end up being in a similar situation to someone, and that's probably my main mindset, working on, like, just reading more and constantly learning.
Well, it's so important to read.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so important to read, and especially if you're in the game of coaching and helping others, you have to keep expanding your knowledge.
Yeah, but even like I hate Instagram and I love Instagram. I have a very love-hate relationship with it. But like, even just sometimes you see like the reels come up and it's just like that one nugget of like a way to work on yourself.
Yeah.
It's all there.
So what? So how in terms of books, like what you're just reading, like a few pages a day, or is it a few pages a week, or
What
when
I've
you get a
said
chance?
recently,
Yeah.
hold my hands up so it's, you know, live, so I can, well, not live,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean, it's recorded. I'm trying to do every morning, read 30 minutes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more like, it gets me out of bed to do something I actually want to do.
Yeah.
Because I like reading.
Yeah.
And I like doing it before like the workday starts, because I think many of us are like guilty of, we feel like, I've got to focus on my business constantly, and you don't like taking time away from it. So like the morning I try and do that.
Okay, so like, is there any specific time you wake up, or is it just you wake up when you wake up?
At the moment, I'd say I'm probably waking up around 6.
Oh, okay.
I've done I tried to do the whole 5 a.m. club thing.
Yeah.
And I liked it because there was something about, you know, getting up early and like being outside when it was dark and being like, oh, you know what, I'm doing well in life, like this works. But also, I'm a night owl and like my brain goes into like work mode probably at 9 p.m. at night.
Does it?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, mine does as well.
Yeah, it does it. And then you're like, this is time to switch off, but your brain's like, no,
Energy's
let's
on
go.
high alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to not like force myself so much with like, okay, get up at this time every day.
Yeah.
Because if I've worked till like stupid o'clock in the morning, I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna get up at 5, are you?
No, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So it's not so specific.
Okay. So, what book are you reading currently?
At the moment.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I am reading. Oh God, now I've got to remember what it's called. It is, what's her name? Oh, this
Is it a personal development
terrible.
book?
Yeah, it's a personal development book.
Well, if you don't
It's
know,
to do with like it all starts with you or something like that. This is terrible that I've not got the name.
no, but what you can do is you can send it us and we'll put it up.
Oh, do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't tell you.
Because sometimes I don't remember the books I've read, but you just remember some content.
Yeah, it was basically to do with like finding out how you're kind of the root of all your problems in a sense. Like rather than blaming other people, it was like what you're going through.
Okay, so here's a question for you. This is a really good one. So, you know, when someone's starting off in their personal development journey, like what are the first, like at the very start stage?
Yeah.
What like first book, second book would you recommend someone to read?
First book.
Or even if it was like the first book, read that first.
For personal development.
Yeah. Or anything.
It's a Tony Robbins book, but I'm trying to remember the name of it. Again, I'm terrible with names. It is actually awful.
Have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad yet?
Yeah, that was my first book, but that to me that wasn't personal development. That was like
Assets,
we're
money.
gonna get into business and money, whereas I'm trying to think
See,
of
I
one.
recommend that one to some people. I say just read that one to start off with.
I think most people read that and that's like the switch. Like I remember reading that. I used to listen to it on the audiobook when I was teaching. And I used to listen to it every morning before teaching the kids. And I'd just like listen to a bit and it motivated me to like do my work though, because it put me in a good mood.
Yeah.
But then it was like, I want to come home and do this. I think everyone should definitely read that.
Which one? The Tony Robbins one?
No, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor
Everyone
Dad,
should
yeah,
read it.
definitely, 100%.
But everyone says that every time as well, don't they? Like that's the one book that everyone's like,
Yeah.
Rich Dad, Poor
No,
Dad.
because it's true. It's a good book. But you know, did you know Tony Robbins is coming UK in June?
Yep, I'm
Are you
signed
going?
up for it, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
What is it, like 5k tickets or something?
No, it's like, I think it's either they've got deals on constantly, haven't they? I think it's like 1,500 for 2
I might go for that
tickets.
one as well. I might go there.
I think you should go. I think it's one of them, like I think being in that environment, it always gives you like a...
You pick up things. Yeah.
And it gives you like a push. I think like energy is contagious and he's up there giving it everything.
It's an event, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's going to be massive. It's in Birmingham, isn't it? It's going to be massive.
What is June, isn't it?
It's either June or July.
June,
I think it's
July.
you know.
Have you got the tickets?
Yeah.
Oh, you've already got them?
Yeah.
Right, okay, I need to
I'm
get
like
them.
ready to go for it. It's like a group of us going.
Wow.
We're all like, we're gonna sit next to each other, but don't talk to me. You know, I'm doing my thing. You do.
Oh,
your
you're going with a
thing.
group?
Yeah, there's a group of us going.
Wow, okay. Well, you should sit separate.
Yeah. I don't know if they've got proper seats or how they even do it.
Yeah.
But I always get told it's really cold in those rooms, so bring a jumper.
Is it?
Apparently, it's what everyone tells me.
Wow, okay.
There you go. So
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
your jumper when you go.
Yeah, no, I wear hoodies these days anyway, so.
Sorted.
Okay, so what is it one thing that you struggle with?
What I struggle with. One thing, there's many things that I struggle with.
One thing.
In business or in like life?
Anything you tell me.
Do you know what? At the moment, the gym. If I'm being 100%
Get to the
honest.
gym.
I know.
I'll hold you
honestly.
accountable for that.
Please do.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's really important to work on
I
you.
know. And I go through
Everyone knows it.
stages. I know.
Alistair was sat here as well,
Yeah,
and he
you
said,
say it
Ibby,
to him. Yeah.
it's like before I even said anything.
Yeah. He's like, I know you're going to say this. I know, but it's stupid because you get so focused on business, you're like, I haven't got time. But then you're like, well, your health is the most important thing there is. It's like the gym, and I'll hold my hands up as well and say, like, what I eat as well, which comes in with the gym. Like, I think when you're working for yourself, you're like, you get out of a routine for proper meal times. And then especially in this industry, I'm travelling so much that you just pick something up here and you pick something up there.
Easy
and
to
you're
pick
like,
something up,
this
isn't
is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I say this now.
Yeah, hold
and
yourself,
then I can like be
look
like,
back
look,
at
I've
it.
said it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be a proper gym goer.
Yeah. Or even if, look, it's not even about being, even if you start with like once or twice a week.
Yeah.
And it's a good start. Or start with a walk.
Yeah. Like a walk on a podcast. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to look back at this in 12 months.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm going to ask you this question. So
on.
you've explained your business goals.
Yeah.
So what is one personal goal, apart from the gym, that you want to achieve this year or in the next 12 months where you can look back at it and think, you know what, it could be a holiday, it could be anything, but it's a personal goal.
Let's see.
Think back to the journaling.
I know, so many. I think a personal goal for 12 months would be, I definitely want to have had another holiday.
Another holiday, yeah?
I want to have another, for like a 7-day holiday.
Where do you want to go? Do you know?
This is the thing. I wrote a list while I was away, a list of all these places I wanted to go. And it was like Croatia and...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there was loads of like just close ones, like, you know, easy close hot, like
Yeah.
that it's just one flight. So I think that's probably one of them.
Okay.
I wish I had a better one than that.
Well, that's good enough.
Yeah.
That's
we'll
one
take
personal
it.
goal. We'll see that if and you can tell me where you went, right?
Will
Okay,
do.
well, Ellen, share one final message with everybody or anything you want to say, share something. Where can people reach out to you? Then after that, tell people as well.
Yeah.
And we'll put it in the description anyway.
I feel like the message that I would want to put out to people is to just go and do whatever it is that they want to, like, don't play small.
Yeah.
Go and do what you want to do. A lot of time people have it like inside them. Like, I have a lot of respect for teachers. It's hard. I absolutely, like, it killed me teaching. It really did. And I knew deep down that I wanted to do something more, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So everyone's probably got something that they're like, I know that I've got a bigger aspiration for myself than what I'm actually at. I've got a bigger level than the level I'm at. So whatever it is, business, like fitness, even if it's that, like whatever it is, go and become the person that you need to become rather than playing at your small
I like
level.
that. And how can people reach out to you?
So probably the easiest way is actually through Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's Ellen.McDonald3.
Yeah, and we'll put that
Put it
up
in there.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on.
Not a problem.
That was good.
Thank you for having me.